Welcome back. Mike Spence, TSPN TV News, and I'm here with John Plasse, and we were just talking about the Amador Community College Foundation and the Higher Learning Center and the facilities themselves and the way that it works with the students to be able to go up and get online and get accredited units through Coastside Community College down in Southern California. Now we have a way, and I think we have 40 plus
44 students signed up for our fall semester.
Yeah. Wow, there are students that are doing it, and are there any in their older years?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, all ages?
One real success story was a young man, not a young man, but young to you and I, Mike. He had all but 2 classes completed for his bachelor's degree and relocated to Amador County, had no other opportunities, was sitting there wanting to complete that goal, and this has allowed him to do just that. With taking 2 more classes online, he'll complete his bachelor's degree and have that to go forward in life with. So,
with the older model, he would have had to go out and get an apartment and enroll in a school and move, relocate, or you know, it's just so much easier for our kids to stay engaged. And sometimes it just takes that little bit of ease to keep them motivated and keep them going, and they get a couple of units under their belt, and you know, you never know where that leads in terms of going forward. You know, we have 2 big events coming up that are so important to the community and to the business partnership end of the endeavor. And so I want to talk about the Business Education Summit that's coming up at Tommy's Restaurant, and that's going to be on Friday the 13th, September the 13th. Friday the 13th, you can't forget that date.
Can't forget that.
That's an easy one. But it's a lunch. It's 11:30 to 1:30, and we have the U.S. Congressman Tom McClintock as a speaker, and we have John Plasse as a speaker. Which one's going first?
I think it's my duty to introduce the congressman.
You do so well. Yeah, you do so well. And you know, education is a very important subject and topic with both our congressman and our assemblyman Frank Bigelow.
Absolutely.
You know, the conservative end of politics still puts a lot of emphasis on education.
Absolutely.
And both of our representatives are education oriented, so it's great to see Congressman McClintock coming and being so involved with Amador County. It really is a great thing. And to be able to go to that luncheon, I think it's only a $10 donation. I mean, everybody, it's the way to get involved and to learn more about what's going on with the facilities and the effort. And that Business Education Summit, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you see that working, John?
Well, the format is essentially I want to reach out and speak to the business community of Amador County and help to dispel some of the myths that I think are still a little bit, you know, found in the crevices of Amador County, if you will. Some people still think our goal is to build a brick and mortar college campus and so forth. And my goal is to explain to them, to dispel those myths and to explain to them what we are providing, how we can make it sustainable, to use your earlier phrase, and keep it going here to the net benefit of the businesses of Amador County. Back to, you know, a more educated workforce is always to the benefit of a business, helps to make them more profitable and just more sustainable themselves. And so explain to the business community, ask for their support for our second event coming up, and introduce the congressman to speak on just that, education as an economic driver, not just education for education's sake, but what it means to the earning power of an individual, to the earning power of the companies that individual works for, and just carrying that forward. I think it's a strong economic driver for our community, and we all know that we could use that tremendously here.
Oh, we sure can. And how easy can it be for our business leaders and our community residents to have lunch at Tommy's? We do that all the time.
Right.
You know,
have
and it's
lunch,
just a great event, and it goes to such a great cause. We're going to be talking at the Business Education Summit about the big event coming up in November, and the Going Gatsby Gala, and that's going to be at the Auto Restoration Center. So we're going to go from Tommy's. We're going to go into a whole nother level here.
Graphics by my daughter
I have to
Plasse.
say, Janae has done, it's amazing our kids, how creative they are with I've had my daughter doing a couple of different creative things illustration-wise. I mean, they're just so good at that. But she has done an amazing job, Janae, on the flyers and the whole theme for the Going Gatsby Gala. And why don't you tell us, I know it's at the Auto Restoration Center with the old vintage cars, but tell us a little bit in detail about what we can expect in November.
Well, we're looking for a venue that could be a little different than what we're all inundated with a number of fundraising dinners to go to over the years and throughout the course of the year. And we thought, what better and more interesting location than Mitch Alba's Gold Country Auto Restorations up at Sutter Hill, the old Prospect Motors site. He's got some beautiful old cars in there, and we're encouraging people to dress in period attire, not requiring, but encouraging them to do so, and have their photograph taken in front of one of the old Duesenbergs or Delages or some of those Hupmobiles. We were just up there. But again, we'll have as a guest speaker that night, Delane Easton. She is a past California State Superintendent of Schools person, a phenomenal speaker, just very inspiring to listen to her speak about education and the value of that. Again, silent auctions, live auctions. I'll be once again designing a fine piece of jewelry to be auctioned off for that event.
Those always are very popular. I mean, that's amazing.
They tend to do a good job on raising funds.
Yeah,
for
they
these
sure
things.
do.
So I'll be looking forward to getting that completed. But November 16th, an evening under the searchlights, if you will, or the spotlights with the old cars and sort of a Gatsby era attire. We'll have music by Sister Swing, which if anybody has ever been to some of the Fair Foundation dinners, they're a great small orchestra, if you will, of three sisters and some musicians as backup that really do a great job of sort of that era's music, encouraging people to swing dance and that sort of thing. So $100 a plate, and we're looking for this to be our primary fundraiser for the Community College Foundation. As you may know, we've been operating largely off of a federal grant that is due to sunset in December, and again, to keep this organization going and all the benefits that we feel we're bringing to the community, and our one paid staff person, Michael Krikorian, does a phenomenal job of working with the students and the veterans and anybody looking to improve their lives with education. He helps you get signed up and
Michael
registered, and he's really doing a great job. And we just want to keep that going so that these students have that opportunity to pursue whatever level of post-secondary education they seek to attain. Excuse me.
Well, if they're looking for something to donate, businesses should be thinking about donating something for the auction. It's a great fundraising opportunity. My wife and I are going to contribute a weekend, like a New Year's weekend of skiing up at our place in Kirkwood.
Oh, terrific.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific.
We're coming forward. If you have an extra case of wine in your cellar or anything, we'll try to get something from Sears, maybe a snowblower. Anything anybody would like to provide for that auction, it'll be greatly appreciated. Any type of donor activity that, the partnership with businesses goes a lot deeper than just creating something for a dinner. But, we do have a lot of events, as you mentioned. There are a lot of events that take place throughout the year, and there's always this dinner and that dinner. I seem to be pulled to a lot of them. I'm sure you do the same thing, because I see you at a lot of them. And you think to yourself, oh my gosh, another event. But this is going to be a class event.
I really think so. We were just touring the facility and sort of planning out our arrangement and setup up there, and what a beautiful facility and a great opportunity to have a really unique event that people can have a great time at.
Yeah, when you're inside and you see all that glass and you get everything going,
it's going to sparkle like
it's going to really be a great evening. And that is going to take place on November the 16th. So mark your calendar. That's a Saturday night, November the 16th. And we call that the Going Gatsby Gala. And I just love that whole theme, and you're going to see that all around town. But mark your calendars now, because you don't want to miss this one.
It's your opportunity to support a very worthwhile effort for college classes being offered right here locally, to great benefit for parents as well, when you think about the cost savings achieved through maybe getting 50% of your community college or GE courses out of the way prior to sending that student off and having to establish residency or the cost of commuting now and so forth. There's a terrific cost savings that those dollars can be saved and put towards their university experience if they go on to 4 years.
This isn't an effort that just came out of nowhere. Obviously, you had mentioned that it had been initiated years and years ago by Richard Vincent, and then it kind of developed into a different, more sustainable model. But why don't you talk a little bit, John, about the people behind, on the board and the people behind the effort, because we have some really great community leaders who had come forward to, dedicate some time.
We have, and you've just put me in a position where I'll probably forget somebody.
I'll
so thank you.
You name a few, I'll name a few.
But of course, myself, I've been on the board since I was elected to the Board of Supervisors. Karen and Wyman Dickerson have been just instrumental. Karen is a right hand, a left hand, and all 10 fingers in her contribution to this organization. Janice Davis, one of our high school counselors, has also been instrumental in helping get the Learning Center set up, the affiliation with Coastline Community College. Just a host of things, but it's great to have that representation from the school board. Up until recently, we had Pat Miller of the school board on our board. He's had to resign as a result of personal reasons, but Pat was a great contributor. Dick Glock, the superintendent of schools, Janice Davis, so we had that school component. Frank Lashinsky with Volcano Telephone has been sort of our technical advisor. And
Frank hooked that whole teleconferencing center up, and that's just an amazing plus.
Absolutely, just a wealth of information for us. Paul Molinelli Jr. has been affiliated with the community college effort for years, probably since its inception. We've got a few new board members. Your wife, Kevin Spence, is welcome aboard. She brings an educational and private business sector background to bear, as well as her legal background, which again is very, very helpful. Paul Danchek, affiliated with USC out of Southern California. I forget his particular title, but he's one of our new board members. Ross Brown and Jason Ralphs, who is the disabled. What's the word I'm looking for? He assists with disabled students at American River College and getting them registered and educated through those offerings at American River. So he brings that perspective to our board. So
what a well-rounded group. I think that's a great way to end this whole conversation is to thank a lot of the people who have been involved and the people who aren't on the board that wanted to come forward. They should be coming forward still because there are a lot of things that they can still do to contribute and stay involved and start to get involved.
Absolutely. And it's a community effort.
John, thanks so much for coming on and discussing that with everyone, and please stay tuned to more TSPN TV programming.
Thanks, Mike.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.